All right, let's get straight into it. In this masterclass, we are not talking about the Sicilian defense or rook endgames. Nope. We're tackling the single most destructive force that's probably holding back your rating right now. Chess tilt. It's that invisible wall, the one that separates an 800 from a 1500. And today, we're going to give you the tools to smash right through it. So let me ask you a question. Why does one blunder cause 5 more? I mean, we've all been there, right? You're playing a great game, everything is going to plan, and then you make one simple, stupid mistake. And suddenly, your whole game just collapses in a train wreck of even worse blunders. Look, that is not a coincidence, and it's not because you just suddenly forgot how to play chess. It's a very specific and predictable psychological process. The technical name for this meltdown is chess tilt, and to put it simply, it's the moment your emotions hijack your brain. When you are on tilt, you're not really playing chess anymore, you're just reacting. And understanding this, really understanding this, is the absolute first step to conquering it. So, to fight back against tilt, we first have to understand exactly how it works. We need to dissect it. Let's look at the anatomy of a typical collapse, piece by piece. This right here is the core idea from Penzance chess, and it's a total game changer. Think about it. We obsessively track our pieces, we watch the clock like a hawk, but we almost never pay attention to our mental capital. This is a complete paradigm shift. Your emotional stability isn't some nice-to-have bonus. It is a fundamental resource, just as valuable as your queen. And when it runs out, well, the game is probably already over. Okay, now for the cool part. The science of what's actually happening inside your head. And this isn't about having more willpower. This is biology. We're talking about a full-on neurological shutdown. It always starts with that one single painful moment. You've played 30 solid moves, and then boom, in an instant, you just leave your queen hanging. The mouse clicks, the damage is done. What happens in the next few seconds is absolutely critical. Here's the crazy thing. Your brain doesn't see a chess piece. It sees a threat, a serious one. This is an ancient evolutionary survival mechanism kicking in. That sinking feeling you get in your stomach, that's your primal brain overriding your logical one. It's interpreting the loss of a digital queen on a screen as a genuine, real-world danger. And this response actually has a clinical name. It's called an amygdala hijack. The amygdala, which is basically your brain's emotional command center, just seizes control from your rational mind, triggering that classic fight-or-flight response. So when the amygdala takes over, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain you kind of need for calculation, for planning, for logic, it gets shut down. It just goes offline. You become literally neurologically incapable of playing your best chess because the very part of your brain required to do that has been put on standby. And this neurological event is exactly why blunders always seem to come in streaks. That initial hijack creates this destructive feedback loop, a spiral that's incredibly hard to escape. Let's break down how it works. So first you have the trigger. You miss a simple fork. Then comes what's called cognitive dissonance. Your self-image as a decent player crashes head-on with the reality of a terrible mistake. It feels awful. So to fix that feeling, you enter the chase. You start playing faster, trying to force a win. But remember, your logic center is offline, so you abandon your process. You completely stop blunder checking. And that leads, almost inevitably, to the terminal blunder, the one that actually ends the game. Now, you've probably heard of poker tilt, but chess tilt is a different beast entirely. In poker, you can always blame bad luck, right? You can blame the cards. But in chess, a game of perfect information, there's no one to blame but yourself. And that makes the emotional gut punch so much more personal and way harder to shake. A tilted poker player chases money. A tilted chess player, we chase elo, just desperately smashing that new game button to try and fix the emotional damage from the last loss. Okay, we've diagnosed the problem. Now for the most important part, the prescription. And this isn't some vague advice. This is a concrete, repeatable, 3-step routine designed to pull you out of that spiral. The number you have to burn into your memory is 3. This is your emergency reset button. Step 1 is the physical break. I mean it. Stand up, walk away from the screen for 60 seconds. This is critical for breaking that neural loop of frustration. Step 2. The 3-breath rule. Take 3 deep, slow breaths. The simple action signals your nervous system to calm down, which helps bring your prefrontal cortex back online. And finally, step 3, the most important mental shift of all, assess the new evaluation. Forget that you were winning, that game has gone. A new game has started on the board in front of you. Your only job is to play this position, right now to the best of your ability. So why is this routine so vital? Because without it, you're going to fall into these classic tilt-induced traps. You'll start playing hope chess, just throwing moves out there and praying your opponent doesn't see the refutation. You'll completely ignore what your opponent is trying to do. You'll either start blitzing out moves instantly or you'll freeze up and burn all your time. And worst of all, you might even resign in a position that was totally salvageable, just out of pure disgust. Sound familiar?
All right, now for the ultimate preventative strategy. This is a rule not for a single game, but for your entire playing session. And the number you have to remember is 2. This is the 2-loss limit, and it is non-negotiable. If you lose 2 games in a row because you felt yourself tilting, you close the app, you shut down the computer, you walk away. Period. No exceptions. This is the single most effective long-term strategy for protecting your mental capital and, yes, your rating. Your brain literally needs time to clear out the cortisol and adrenaline before you can think clearly again. So let's wrap this all up. The real path to improvement, the one that leads to a breakthrough, isn't just about memorizing openings or grinding puzzles. It's about mastering your own mind. You have to understand that emotional regulation isn't just part of the game. In many ways, it is the game. And that brings us to this final, crucial insight from Penzance Chess. Discipline in walking away is just as important as discipline in calculating variations. You know, sometimes the strongest move you can possibly make is to just close the board and come back tomorrow. Master that, and I promise you will unlock an entirely new level in your chess.